LL tries to defraud us and ends up losing his visa instead. This happened a long time ago, but I recently found out about the end result and figured that it might belong here. If you've never heard of the US EB-5 visa program, then don't worry, I hadn't either. From what little half-assed research I've gathered, this is essentially a program where foreign nationals can fast-track US residency visa status by contributing financially to approved community investment projects. I don't think that the specifics are that relevant, but feel free to add if I've missed anything important. So, when my husband and I were still dating and first looked for a place to live together, we settled on a small townhouse. It was old and needed work, but the rent was reasonable and it was in a neighborhood we liked. The landlord had recently purchased the property but didn't live there and wanted renters to help pay for the mortgage, I assume. We found the house on a realty website. It had been sold less than a month before we moved in and still had photographs posted by the seller. This will be important later. We liked the place, applied and got accepted. We moved in and lived happily ever after, the end. No, but seriously, landlord left us alone, we lived there for a few years, paid rent on time, never had issues. Until we moved out. We had to pay nearly $5,000 in refundable security deposits, and when we moved out, our landlord repaid half. We were confused as the lease laid out the steps the landlord had to take in order for them to keep the deposit. Central to that requirement, landlord had 45 days to provide us with an itemized list of damages we caused as well as the cost to fix each thing. 45 days came and went, and no itemized list. So, we contacted them and asked for the list. We received a mostly blank, one-page invoice for $2,500 to repaint, remove TV mounts, patch holes, etc. It wasn't itemized and there were no individual charges. So, we asked for pictures of the alleged damages. Landlord immediately got hostile and refused. So, we filed suit. Landlord hired an attorney to represent him, and the attorney submitted an itemized list as well as pictures. We printed date-stamped copies of the photos posted by the previous realtor. The same photos submitted by landlord's clueless lawyer. The clerk overseeing the matter found in our favor immediately. Because landlord had lied about the photographic evidence, landlord was also found to be in breach of contract and was assessed treble damages plus interest, penalties and court costs. Yay for us. But he didn't pay, so we submitted to a collection agency. I don't really understand the particulars. We eventually recovered most of the final judgment, so we were happy and left it at that. Until, unbeknownst to us, landlord was an EB-5 applicant. Apparently, the breach of contract, collection and shenanigans surrounding the dishonesty regarding the lawsuit made it back to whomever was reviewing their visa application. There were other issues too, I'm sure. Landlord's visa application was denied. He ended up having to cash out of his US investments and won't be eligible for this visa again. The final outcome was an unintended consequence, but I kind of feel like he got what he deserved.